Dear co-host and fellow speakers, today my speech is about an issue which concerns all of us and which has been widely written about, extensively talked and heatedly debated upon. Today I want to talk about global warming and cover three aspects of it. Basically, what global warming is and how it is affecting us and what's being currently done to address the issue. Global warming as a phenomenon refers to the increasing heating up of the Earth's surface and the oceans. Global warming occurs as a result of increased presence of greenhouse gases. There are basically 5 greenhouse gases which matter: carbon dioxide, water vapor, nitrous oxide, ozone, and methane. The solar radiation at higher frequencies in the visible light range, it basically travels through the atmosphere and heats up the Earth's surface. The Earth then radiates it back in the lower frequency range of infrared thermal radiation. So these greenhouse gases actually trap this radiation and then they are retransmitted back to the Earth's surface. So this is actually called the greenhouse effect. The climate models actually indicate that if the greenhouse effect was not there, the surface temperature of Earth would actually be around -18 or -19 degrees centigrade. So the greenhouse effect is actually a very good thing because they actually help to retain the temperature of the Earth's surface, which is conducive to life, to maintain it at a constant temperature. However, for the past few hundred years, we humans have been burning forests and fossil fuels and thereby releasing millions of tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. This increased level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere has caused the temperature of the Earth to increase. This in turn causes more water to evaporate into the atmosphere and increases the water vapor in the atmosphere. As I've said, water vapor is also a greenhouse gas and it further retains more heat, further increasing the temperature of the Earth's surface and the oceans. So this effect of increasing the Earth's temperature over a period of years since 1900, scientists have termed this phenomenon as global warming. Various studies have indicated that the Earth's temperature has increased by about 0.8 degrees centigrade since 1900. 2/3 of it since in the last 20 years, since 1980. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, often called the IPCC, has predicted that the global surface temperatures in the 21st century will rise further by 1.1 to 2.9 degrees centigrade at the lower threshold of lower emissions and by 2.4 to 6.4 degrees centigrade in the highest emission scenario. The temperature changes that have been forecast, if they actually come out true, will have some devastating effects. This will lead to a rise in sea levels, change in rainfall patterns, and a possible expansion of subtropical deserts. The Arctic area is expected to be one of the worst impacted areas with the continued retreat of glaciers. The last decade has seen some extremes in climate changes. We have had 3 of the warmest years in a century. You would have noted that the US coast has been hit by a series of severe tornadoes, and Europe has had one of the rainiest, with creating flooding in one year and extreme summer in other years. No one can definitely say how much of this is actually attributable to global warming, but the increasing extreme climatic behaviors should ring alarm bells all over. Unfortunately, even the United Nations IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, has had its share of controversies. Some of you may remember the controversy about the Himalayan glaciers last year, which had been dubbed as the Glacier Gate. The IPCC, under the chairmanship of Dr. Rajendra Pachauri, had in its 2007 report claimed that the Himalayan glaciers will disappear by 2035. Last year, the IPCC had to issue an unprecedented admission that its claim of the melting away of Himalayan glaciers had no scientific basis, and its inclusion in the report reflected a poor reflection of IPCC's procedures. While there can be questions on the actual numbers forecast, there can be little doubt that human economic activity is increasingly contributing to the global warming at an alarming pace. Something needs to be done immediately to arrest this spread. So far, the efforts have been slow but incremental. Globally, some success has been achieved in trying to control by limiting the CFCs in industrial and consumer products, limiting the ozone holes as such. Also, the concept of carbon footprint has become more widespread. Companies have started looking at the carbon footprint for the products that they manufacture. I've even heard of a corporate which has a CGO, Chief Green Officer. Under the Kyoto Protocol, developed countries have introduced a carbon credit trading mechanism. Carbon credits assign a monetary value to the greenhouse gas emissions. For example, if a particular factory exceeds its greenhouse gas emissions, it will either have to reduce it or it has to buy carbon credits from people who actually have it. So emissions become an internal cost of doing business and are visible on the balance sheet. However, critics say that this system does not deter companies from polluting the environment. In fact, by paying it, it kind of legalizes and removes the guilt factor that the companies may have of spoiling the environment. To conclude, while there has been a lot of awareness on global warming and its effects, little has been done to stem the tide. International efforts at reaching an agreement on global warming have often degenerated into an issue of developing countries versus developed countries. I do hope that citizens all over the world will be more proactive and force their governments to treat this issue with the seriousness that it deserves. Maybe, for example, maybe some of you know that the Greenpeace has an office in Bangalore. There's a local chapter. Maybe some of you could start supporting the Greenpeace. If not, with your time and financially, at least support their online institutions. Thank you.